really bizarre.
I'm on TV, Mom.
Well, they paid $250 to make sure the Oh man, this is
Thank you.
so much good.
Oh yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I'm a bit
Good morning, Lewisburg. First off, I want to wish those who are celebrating a Chag Shavuot Sameach, a joyous, happy holiday of Shavuot, and Ramadan Mubarak, a blessed observance of Ramadan. I open our invocation blessing for our graduates with the words from the ancient Jewish wisdom text, Pirkei Avot. Ben Zoma says, "Who is wise? The one who learns from every person. And who is brave? The one who subdues their inclinations to do harm. Who is rich? The one who appreciates what they have. And who is honored? The one who gives honor to others." Today, graduates, we honor you. We honor you and your accomplishments. This is also a time for you to take stock of these last 4 years, to appreciate the wisdom gained, the bravery found, to remember the gifts that came in packages, welcome and unwelcome, that nevertheless still helped you learn. Because it is indeed learning that pushes us ahead in life. No matter where you go from here, no matter how much you might earn, what circles you might run in, what your family life may be now or later, I can tell you for sure that what you learn, how you learn, and how you apply what you learn to your life and to your interactions with others is going to determine everything else on the road ahead. And that is good news, because our students spend plenty of time here learning. You got here, right here, so you know that you can learn. You've been able to apply yourselves when it really counted. You've been able to ask the questions that needed to be asked, to solve the problems when they were presented to you. You've got the tools, graduates, to start on your journey. And what happens from here then is all about how you learn and how you apply it. Once again, who is wise? The one who learns from every person. And who is brave? The one who subdues their inclinations to do harm. And who is rich? The one who appreciates what they have. And who is honored? The one who gives honor to others. To the class of 2018 and all graduates receiving degrees here today, we bless you with wisdom, bravery, abundance, and honor on the road ahead. You have surely earned it. Mazel tov. Congratulations. Amen. Please remain standing for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated, everyone. Well, good morning on this beautiful and rain-free day. Whoever arranged for that, you have our thanks. I'm John Brovman, president of Bucknell University, and I'm honored to welcome the class of 2018 and our master's degree recipients to Bucknell's 168th commencement ceremony. Welcome to the many families and friends who join us today to celebrate this milestone with our graduates. And welcome to the university's faculty and staff who have worked closely with you since your arrival on campus and who have supported you every step of your journey. We are also pleased to have with us members of the university's Board of Trustees and our distinguished keynote speaker, Mr. Jim Kramer, a class of 2018 parent. We are delighted that you are here to help us celebrate the accomplishments of our graduates. 4 years ago this month, you made one of the most significant decisions of your young lives. You accepted our offer of admission to Bucknell. In just a few minutes, you will receive your diplomas, a document that represents 4 years of challenges and growth, of discovery and determination, of intellectual exploration that will serve you well in whatever endeavors you pursue. Each of you took your own path to and through Bucknell. And now, after this ceremony, each of you will follow your own path to personal and professional success. I know I speak for my faculty and staff colleagues who have helped prepare you for this journey forward when I say it's a privilege to watch this extraordinary transformation, and we are so extremely proud of you. Indeed, you are a remarkable set of individuals with a wide range of interests, talents, achievements, and goals. But you are all united by Bucknell and the drive to become the very best versions of yourselves. Today, you join the worldwide community of nearly 50,000 Bucknell alumni, and together you can take lifetime pride in this accomplishment. As you gather here on Malesardi Quadrangle for one last time as students, remember that no matter where your path leads, Bucknell will always be a part of you, and we will always be your home. Something equally important to note this morning is this: remember where you came from. You wouldn't be here today without the support of parents, siblings, and other family members and special friends. In recognition of that, may I ask the graduates, would you please rise, turn around, and with a great round of applause, thank them for their dedication to your success. Parents and family members, we are honored that you entrusted Bucknell with the special and awesome responsibility of educating these incredible individuals. We thank you for sharing them with us. I would now ask everyone in the audience to stand so that we can thank those who make possible the Bucknell experience, our faculty and staff represented by my colleagues to the left and the right. Whether they work in classrooms or labs, in residence and dining halls, in the library, or our beautiful grounds, they truly care about our students, and they take great pride in your graduation today. I would also like to offer a word of gratitude to two very special people to this university, and two people that over the last 6 or so years have become very, very special to me. Bob Malesardi, class of 1945, and his wife Doris. 2 years ago, Bob and Doris pledged $20 million to Bucknell, which at the time was the largest gift in our university's history, solely to support financial aid. Since then, through their matching gift program, the Malesardi Match, that endowment continues to grow significantly. The Malesardi's commitment and leadership will forever strengthen the university by helping to expand access to a Bucknell education. We are so very lucky once again to have Bob and Doris here today on the quadrangle, named in their honor. It's now my great honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. Jim Cramer. Mr. Cramer is a financial analyst, best-selling author, host of CNBC's Mad Money, and co-host of CNBC's Squawk on the Street. He also runs the charitable trust portfolio Action Alerts Plus and is the chief markets columnist for The Street's Real Money. Mr. Cramer's entrepreneurial spirit, combined with his deep belief in the value of a broad liberal education, is evident in his remarkable career path. In many ways, it speaks to the foundation of the educational experience Bucknell provides. He graduated magna cum laude from Harvard University in 1977, where he was president of the Harvard Crimson. He worked as a journalist at the Tallahassee Democrat and the Los Angeles Herald-Examiner before moving to New York to found American Lawyer magazine. A few years later, he entered Harvard Law School and earned his JD in 1984. But instead of practicing law, Mr. Cramer joined Goldman Sachs, where he worked in sales and trading until leaving to start his own hedge fund. While he worked at his fund, he helped start Smart Money for Dow Jones, and then in 1996, he founded The Street Incorporated, a multimedia provider of financial commentary. In 2000, Mr. Cramer retired from active money management to embrace media and philanthropy on a full-time basis. In addition to his regular media roles, he has written for Time Magazine and New York Magazine. He has also been featured on CBS News' 60 Minutes, NBC's Meet the Press and Today, and MSNBC's Morning Joe. Today's ceremony has special meaning for Mr. Cramer, who has been a long friend to the university. His wife, Lisa Detweiler, is a member of the university's Board of Trustees, and their daughter is among the seniors receiving diplomas today. We look forward to hearing his advice for her and all of her classmates. Will you please help me welcome Mr. Jim Cramer?
You did it! You have gotten to an unimaginable place from just 4 ridiculously short years ago. You are graduating from one of our finest schools, and I congratulate you, and of course, your parents, for the teamwork it takes to get to the finish line. This is a very special day for me. My fabulous stepdaughter, Charlotte Detweiler, is in our midst, graduating in the amazing class of 2018, as is my goddess of a wife, Lisa Detweiler, a grateful trustee of Bucknell. I am so proud of you both. And Charlotte, stalwart graduate, I salute you as someone who embodies all that is good in this world. And I am so happy for you on this glorious day. Thank you for letting me a part of your Bucknell life, from the first drop-off to the parents' weekend and our own times together here. I want to thank the faculty for educating these fine students to be able to handle the slings and arrows of the real world with honor and with rigor. You have once again helped produce a remarkable group of women and men destined for greatness. And of course, I want to thank President John Brovman, who just yesterday outlined to all of us how valuable Bucknell is, what a great investment it is. Oops, wait a second. That wasn't yesterday, that was 4 years ago. Time doesn't fly, it's propelled at a pace that NASA or Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos salivate for. President Brovman, you have taken a great institution and made it one of the most sought-after universities in the nation in a very short time. You have been a beacon to these amazing students, and I join you in congratulating each and every one for their achievements and for their fellowship. We just wish, don't we wish it could last longer? That's how much we love Bucknell. I am proud of my affiliation with your fabulous school, a relationship that started years and years ago when one of my mentors at Goldman Sachs, Professor Bill Groover, came to teach here. A little more than a decade ago, I had the privilege of giving a speech here about how the federal government, and under George W. Bush, I had felt, had abdicated its role as a promoter of general welfare. And it was time for corporate America to step up in its place. I am thrilled to say that I see it happening now in so many companies, and their stock market valuations are rewarded for it. It was a fiery speech back then, seditious both to the White House and to Wall Street. And I thank Bucknell's esteemed faculty and administration for giving me the opportunity to push the boundaries of free speech in such an incendiary way. May you always allow disparate voices to tell the truth as they see it. It is such an honor to address you today as I struggle to think about what I could impart to you. I traced my own path from college for lessons that could be applicable to you as you leave this gorgeous campus and join the scrum of the real world. Sometimes like Edgar Allan Poe's purloined letter, the answer is right in front of you. That's why I want to tell you about what faced me on this day and give you 2 lessons I learned for my life that I want you to know without having to suffer through them. The first will be palpable, the second hopefully intuitive. But if not, perhaps you will recall this speech someday, and I do hope that, if things don't pan out the way you would want. Because life after graduation is rarely a straight path. There are twists and there are turns and roadblocks and defeats, and you must know how to negotiate them and negotiate them gracefully, earnestly as possible. College, as you will certainly learn in the ensuing moments, is not an on-ramp to the HOV success lane. My graduation day certainly began inauspiciously, because in truth, I didn't graduate. I had been the outgoing editor of the Crimson, the school paper, and I knew I wanted to be a crusading journalist. Shortly before graduation, I had heard about an injustice that had been committed by the man who presided over our commencement. He had deceived the faculty. He had deceived the faculty about a fiefdom he had been running the whole time within an elite department at school. And I felt compelled to write one more article in the school paper, an article exposing his deceit. I reasoned there was no way I could possibly get in trouble, could there? I mean, after all, I was about to leave college for good. There could be no penalty. I had all my credits. I was a magna. What could he do to me? At Harvard, there's a long tradition of the dean saying a few glowing words about each person before he or she gets the diploma. I listened to the tributes and watched the beaming parents until it was my turn. I heard my name called, and as I rose to the podium, the dean began to call me a liar, telling the crowd how despicable I was. And by the time I got to him, my hand shaking, trembling to try to shake his, he said there would be no diploma for me. And he waved me off the stage. Stunned, I stumbled down the stairs, empty-handed, into the confused but warm arms of my mother. I looked at my father. He was in tears. The only time I had ever seen him cry, the only time I would ever see him cry. My first lesson to you: all of you will have a better day than I did back in June of 1977. I came home to Philadelphia, tail between my legs, and while I waited for an investigation to conclude that I actually did deserve a diploma, I began the arduous process of trying to get a newspaper job in the middle of recession, and I didn't know what a recession was. I wrote letters to 48 newspapers asking, no begging for a job. You know what I have here? I have here 48 rejection letters. I kept every one of them. Now, I know they say that revenge is a dish best tasted cold, but I take little solace dining on the carcass of those rancid newsrooms. Although I admit to being a tad gleeful when it comes to the more discouraging letters, including one particularly nasty missive from the editor of the now defunct Philadelphia Bulletin. Kramer 1, Bullet nothing! As the rejection letters piled up, my situation grew dire at home. You tire of hearing that things are different from back then. But I can tell you that while I hunted for a job June, July, August, both my mother and my father had grown weary of me hanging around waiting for the mail. They both had the reason. Mom felt fiercely that you should go to work right out of school, not hanging around for the next good meal. Pop didn't even believe that being a writer was a profession. We didn't have much. And he wanted me to get an honest job, one that he said made money. He reminded me at every chance that my friends were going into journalism. Well, those were the wealthy ones. They could afford to be a writer, Jimmy. You can't, he said. My heart's desire meant nothing to this man whose crouched had a living, selling boxes and bags to mom and pop stores, his customers reeling from the recession and from the big box onslaught. My mom clarified her position 2 months in by throwing my bed away and redesigning my room as a den. Pop drew his line by telling me I would have to pay rent if I weren't out by October. I didn't believe him until I saw the invoice. Now, do not underrate relatives in a time of need. I found a sweet aunt down in Washington, D.C. who allowed me to move in rent-free, and I began my job hunt anew, armed at last with that diploma, and a note rebuking the dean for not giving to me a diploma on that awful commencement day. Better embarrassingly late than never, I consoled myself. A friend in Washington had told me about a job perhaps at the Congressional Quarterly, a trade publication that covered politics. They were looking for a low-level candidate for an entry post in journalism. I made my introductions, and shortly thereafter, I found myself in front of the editor-in-chief. He must have smelled my desperation, because he said he had something for me. And I said, yes, when can I start? How about tomorrow, he said. My, this is easy, I remember thinking. Almost too easy. So the next morning, I showed up so excited, so ready. My excitement only grew more palpable as the editor-in-chief told me that I was going to be a key operator at the publication. Right out of school and already a key operator. He handed me off to a lieutenant who ushered me into a closet of a room where there was a gigantic Xerox machine with a flashing yellow light that said, call key operator. You, he told me, are a new key operator. You learn to fix the Xerox machine in addition to handling all our photocopy opportunities. You can start by fixing this paper jam. I lasted a month of doing nothing but photocopying and fixing the photocopier. No muckraking, no exposés, no crusades, just a key operator. Fortunately, 1 month in, my resume had been passed around to a bunch of newsrooms that landed on the desk of the Tallahassee Democrat editor who tracked me down and said he might have a job for me. I wasted no time flying to Florida, and after a day of interviews was offered a position covering Florida State University, everything from day-to-day student life to the administration to the football team. I told my editor that I wanted to expose any injustice I saw and correct them. He said that was fine as long as I spelled everyone's name right. So I moved as close as possible to the university to get to skinny, not far from the sororities and fraternity houses that dominated campus. Not long after I had settled in, the students were hit with a terrible tragedy. A serial killer, Ted Bundy, broke into Chi Omega sorority house not far from me and murdered 4 young women. I was the first reporter on the scene, arriving early enough to learn the names of the victims. Too early in retrospect, because I called one of the victims' relatives ahead of the police and had to explain what happened. My first-hand articles changed the trajectory of my career. Suddenly, I was the kid who knew how to cover crime. I went from someone with noble intentions of righting wrongs to someone who could cover homicide with a flair. Not long after, I got a call from the executive editor of the now defunct Los Angeles Herald-Examiner, which of course had rejected me first, saying he had seen my Bundy clips and needed someone to cover murder in L.A. Goodbye, Tallahassee. Hello, Los Angeles. One thing my father was right about, $143 a week in Florida wasn't much. But the $30 more per week I got for moving to Los Angeles was well below the poverty subsistence line. No matter, I stubbornly clung to the idea that once in the city covering homicide, I could rise up to expose big city corruption. Homicide was nothing. Corruption, influence peddling, bribery, all the issues that brought me to journalism in the first place, the ideal still lived. I took a place in a definitively less desirable part of town and went about the task of covering everyone who died violently in the Southland. One night after staggering in for a particularly grueling homicide shift, I sensed that something was awry in my place. I'm not a clean freak. But apparently I hadn't flushed the toilet before going to work. I hadn't put the utensils away, not like me at all. The next day I got back from work, and my bathroom was a mess. My fridge had been cleaned out. Someone had cooked a chicken in a pot with the nasty remains on the shelf. An intruder, I correctly surmised. Outraged, I called the police. They came within a couple of hours and seemed to wonder why I bothered them, given the crime-ridden area that I lived in. They told me to change the locks. The very next day, I arrived home and my television, my record player, my albums, most of my kitchenware had vanished. I called the police again. The same guy showed up and told me there wasn't much they can do. I covered crime. I knew the lingo. I said there's no sign of forced entry. Shouldn't they dust for prints? The two grizzled veterans of a down-and-out neighborhood looked at each other and they started laughing at me, like I had told the funniest joke in the world. Listen, kid, here's my advice. This isn't TV. I am not Kojak. Get yourself the hell out of this neighborhood. You don't belong here. Buy yourself a gun, for heaven's sake, because we are not your personal bodyguards. Next day, I came home, and this time everything was gone, including my checkbook. The place was broom clean. I had no clothes beyond what was on my back. I had no way to pay my rent. I didn't bother to call the cops. They'd never catch the perp. And that's how, a little more than a year after not receiving my diploma from Harvard, I was evicted from my apartment and suddenly found myself homeless. Just the clothes on my back, living in my 1978 Ford Fairmont. You know what I should have done right then, don't you? I should have gone back in the car, straight back to Philadelphia. But to what end? My father hated the career, didn't regard it as a career I had chosen. I was not going to be chased out of my dream to be the best damn journalist I could be. But as the days went on and the weeks and the months ticked off, I couldn't save any money. I found myself repeatedly curled up in the back of that Ford Fairmont, parked at the best freeway exits. I took the patrolman's dictum. I took it to heart. And I got myself an unlicensed .22 caliber pistol, along with some underwear, a couple of shirts, pants from a closeout store. And I discovered the wonders of shivering at night, kept warm by an ever-present bottle of Jack Daniels. Memo to that great poet Kesha: you would never waste old number 7 on brushing your teeth. Pity's not easy to come by when you're youthful. But one of my editors recognized that after months of wearing the same corduroy jacket to work, I had to be in a jam. When he asked me why I was so sartorially challenged, I told him my travails. He showed mercy and said he could put me on an expense account for at least weekends so I could grab an occasional shower at a hotel room. That is, if I were willing to move to California's capital, Sacramento, to cover, yes, statewide homicide. I was eager for a change in venue, even if my beat stayed the same. No political muckraking for me. My job was to sell papers. The gorier the homicide, the better. So I moved up to the state capitol, found the best place to park on Interstate 5, where the cops couldn't rouse me. That's a homeless necessity, people. And I broadened my geographical range of violent obituaries. Yes, living in my car took a toll on me. But I believed in myself. I believed in my ability to conquer anything. Characteristics that you must share with me, regardless of your travails. I was no quitter. But when you were homeless, bad things happen. Bad things like what happened to me when I decided to camp out in my car at Ukiah, California, a few months after I arrived in Sacramento. I was exploring the town, stopping to get some cookies at a sweet shop. And soon after I hit the highway, I spied a Colusa County Sheriff's car with rooftop cherries surrounding lazily behind me. I pulled over, an officer, a bear of a man, with one of those menacing campaign hats and the sunglasses. He approached the car, an unholstered gun in hand. I instinctively reached for the glove compartment to fish out my registration. Stop it right there, he barked. In one swift motion, the gun was nestled tightly to my temple. Maybe he just had a sixth sense that there wasn't just a registration, there was an unlicensed .22 caliber in the glove box. He had me slowly step out of the car and place myself spread eagle on the Fairmont's hood as he read my rights, the steel barrel never leaving my cranium. We waited 2 hours like that. Any attempt for me to ask what was happening was met with a kick. Turns out we were waiting for the proprietor of Grandma's Cookings, Yes, the store I had stopped at earlier in the afternoon. When Grandma at last arrived, another officer yanked my earlobes hard, while the first officer kept that revolver on my ear and then said I could be dismissed. I demanded to know what had happened. I wanted an apology for this false arrest. The new deputy on the scene barked, "Robber had an earring." And that I was lucky that they didn't arrest me for the unlicensed handgun. He told me to get the hell out of Colusa County and stay out. The arrest brought to home, though, that perhaps a man often thought to be one of the most likely to succeed from the class of 1977 may actually have been a real screw-up. There initially had been a romantic, maybe even a courageous aspect to living in my car. I was stubborn and tough and fearless in my pursuit of my idealized career and wouldn't let these reversals stop me. But as I was able to use that expense account to grab a room and a shower at a Best Western, I could see a yellow stain developing on my stomach. It freaked me out. I had no health care insurance. There was no HMO. That was left downstate in LA. Who could afford to see a doctor? There were no doctors for me. I didn't have the money. At the time, I had been covering a serial killer at farm workers, and I found myself at a migrant clinic asking for information about the victims. When I finished asking my questions, I inquired that whether I too could see a doctor. Within 2.5 hours, I got the nod. I went in with tremendous trepidation. I knew I had been doing some serious abuse to my body, but I wasn't ready for the diagnosis. The doctor, a young idealist himself, asked first if I drank. Occasionally, I answered. That is the requisite response anyone who drinks all day must give. Well, listen, Mr. Occasional Drinker, you've got a yellow patch of skin the size of Greenland on a Mercator projector, and if you don't give up drinking, you won't live through another year. I had weathered everything then, from being the key operator to living to where Ted Bundy had killed those girls, to being robbed of everything, to being homeless and being arrested. And that was the straw that broke this fighter's back. But what could I do? I never lost the dream of being that reporter. That reporter could bring down the crooked establishment. Still, going home would be a defeat. I would not allow it. I was not a quitter, but I was too alone to go on. As I sat in my car taking stock outside that migrant clinic, I recognized that I had indeed been defeated. Whether I owned up to it or not, I had endured 18 months of abject failure. The well of my pride, which had sustained me for so long, had at last run dry. Embarrassed, dejected, finished. What could I do? How could I get a job? One that could give me 4 walls, maybe give me health care, maybe get rid of my stain. Reluctantly, I knew I had to own up to the only sustenance I had. I had to let my classmates know, especially my friends from the Crimson. I needed to let them know that I was beaten. I was the loser of the litter, the one that couldn't make good. I sent SOS letters to the only lifelines I knew. It was in failure that I begot success. Because rather than derision, rather than disgust, rather than snickering, which somehow I thought would be the reaction, I received an outpouring of support and graciousness from my classmates. My embarrassment was misplaced. Almost to a person, my classmates took pity on me without ruining the pride I had left. And one of my friends who had made good let me have an opportunity. And then another, and then another, and then another, and then another. They let me crash at their places everywhere I interviewed. They helped me get writing assignments, maybe get some money, dress better, afford a meal. When I finally won a job, it was to do just the kind of reporting I wanted to do. It was a muckrake position, examining the foibles of the justice system. My defeat had yielded to victory. First lesson, it's okay to fail, but it is not okay to quit. You have more strength within you, both physical and mental, than you know. But use it more wisely than I did, please. Now, though, I need you to learn about the other important takeaway from the arc of my distinctly suboptimal 18 months after school, one that I should have known the day I was robbed of my diploma, but I was too prideful. I want you, right now, to look at the student to your left. Look at the student to your right. Look at the young adult soon to graduate in front of you and the one behind you. Take it from a down, but not out, once 22-year-old. Your classmates are your safety net, these warm souls of the class of 2018 surrounding you. Those who share classes or dorms or sororities or fraternities or service work or clubs, teams with you. Remember, your stumble is just a pothole in the road for your seated neighbors to help you fill. 4 years ago, President Brovman told you and your parents how the price of a Bucknell education seemed spectacularly high. I remember parents nodding all over the place. He went on to say, though, that Bucknell offered so much more than just classrooms. It would be the friendships of the students, the shared skills of the academic and the extracurricular activities that gave you a return on investment far in excess of tuition. I can tell you as someone who truly failed, starting from the moment I was denied my diploma, that President Brovman could not have been more right. Those classmates who are sharing this moment with you are the ones who protect you. They are the ones who serve you when you most need them. They and the education at Bucknell are priceless. They are your true sources of sustenance. And while I hope you don't need them, remember my story, swallow that pride, and jump into the bison safety net with both feet. With both feet, I urge you, and I promise you will never regret it. Thank you very much.
I have no idea how you follow Jim Cramer. Let's see if I can get us off to a good start. Good morning, Bucknell. Thank you. Okay. We are going to go from the suboptimal, brief as it was, to recognizing achievement, and I'm very happy to be here doing this with you now. President Brovman, it is my honor to recognize among the faculty those who have received Bucknell's Faculty Teaching Awards this year. These honorees have earned high praise from their colleagues, as well as from their students and alumni, for exemplary approaches to teaching and their ability to at once challenge and inspire students throughout the learning process. Many of you graduates helped with this process, and we're grateful to you for pointing out some of the many superb teachers on our faculty. Faculty recipients, I will ask you to stand when I call your name, please, so that we can acknowledge you. Our two recipients of this year's Presidential Awards for Teaching Excellence represent the finest of teaching within our liberal arts core. The first honoree is Assistant Professor of Mathematics, Professor Abby Flint. Students describe Professor Flint as a mentor, an ally in their learning and their development, and a faculty member who models what it means to be a community member by encouraging students to invest in one another. Much the same message you just heard. Congratulations, Professor Flint. Our second recipient of the Presidential Award for Teaching Excellence is Associate Professor of Computer Science, Professor Brian King. On your left. Professor King is known for his care and attention to course development, for his engagement with undergraduate research, and for helping colleagues re-envision the computer science program to more readily engage the needs of students and industry. Brian, with your permission, I'm going to tell the story of our phone call. Okay with you? So I have the happy duty of calling the recipients of our teaching awards. I called Brian, Professor King. He was in his office grading. And I said, Brian, I've got good news for you this morning. Dead silence. I said, Brian, you are the recipient of the Presidential Award for Teaching Excellence. There was a moment of total silence, and then he said, forgive my French, holy shit! That's the reaction we want. It's well-deserved. Congratulations, Professor King. This year's William Pierce Boger Jr. MD Award for Excellence in Teaching in the Natural Sciences goes to Professor of Geology Carl Kirby. On your left. Many of Professor Kirby's teaching exercises and materials have actually been adopted by his colleagues because of their effectiveness in engaging students and helping them understand complex scientific processes. You were much politer on the phone, Professor Kirby. Congratulations. Our next award will be given in absentia because this colleague happens to be in Spain at the moment. The class of 1956 lectureship in recognition of inspirational teaching goes to Professor Michael James in political science. Let's give him a round of applause. Professor James is described as a demanding and rigorous colleague who teaches students to think critically and to engage deeply with material and who helps them understand the connections between theory and practice. If we give one more loud round of applause, he'll hear us in Spain. Congratulations, Professor James. The next recipient is in the audience with us today. The Christian R. and Mary F. Lindback Award for Distinguished Teaching goes to Associate Professor of French and Francophone Studies, Professor René Gausson. René, where are you? On your left. Professor Gausson is said to have incredible success engaging students as collaborators across all levels of instruction, which is not easy, especially with beginning levels of the language. And they end up feeling invested in both their classroom and well outside it because of the learning they do with her. Her teaching style is described as interactive, enthusiastic, and engaged. Congratulations, Professor Gausson. We have one more teaching award, again to be announced in absentia. This recipient is currently very far from here, caring for family. The recipient of this year's Writing Across the Curriculum Award of Excellence is given to Associate Professor of English, Meenakshi Ponaswamy. Professor Ponaswamy earns this award because of her strong engagement with and support of the writing program, in which she is considered a model faculty member. Many of her course materials are used by the Writing Center in faculty development workshops and as training for peer writing tutors. Congratulations, Professor Ponaswamy. It's also my pleasure to share with you today the names of several members of the university community whom we recognized earlier this spring for their contributions to the campus. These were the recipients of Bucknell's third annual Diversity and Inclusion Awards, which recognize those who have made significant contributions to the university's efforts to build and nurture an inclusive campus community. These awards were presented in 5 categories during a ceremony last month. Again, recipients, I'm assuming you're in the audience. Would you stand when I call your name so that we can acknowledge you, please? The Faculty Award for Diversity and Inclusion went to Professor of Psychology Joel Wade. On your right. Well done, Professor Wade. Thank you. The student honoree is a member of the class of 2018 who majors in education. That recipient was Anthony Screama. Anthony, where are you? Right there. Congratulations, Anthony. The recipient of the Staff Award for Diversity and Inclusion is with us on the platform party today. That recipient is our chaplain for the Jewish community, Rabbi Hannah Leslie Glazer, right here. Congratulations, Rabbi Glazer. Now, this is a group award, and if any of you are here, please stand. The Student Organization Award went to Bucknell Advancing Communities, Educating and Serving, known as BASES, a group that conducts service trips to the Dominican Republic. Are any of you here? Yes, please stand. Thank you. Congratulations, BASES members, and thank you. And the Collaborative Team Award went to Women in Leadership, a committee drawn from the Career Development Center, Development and Alumni Relations, the College of Engineering, and the Kenneth W. Freeman College of Management, plus athletics. Any members of that group with us today? Yes, right here. Thank you. On your right. I'm delighted to have you here as a representative. Thank you so much to the Women in Leadership team. Thank you to all those recognized for really vital contributions to our campus community. We wouldn't be the place we are without your great work. Finally, let's take a moment to recognize the 2018 recipient of the Burma Bucknell Award. This award is presented in recognition of Bucknell's long-standing connections with the people of Myanmar to those who have made outstanding contributions to intercultural and international understanding within the university committee. The 2018 award was presented to Associate Professor of German Studies, Helen Morris-Keitel. Helen, are you here? I'm sure she heard us from Chincoteague, where she is likely this morning. We thank Professor Morris-Keitel for her commitment to expanding and improving student study abroad experiences, and we thank her for her really deep and true and decades-long dedication to global education at Bucknell. Let me now ask you to pay attention to the awards set forth in your program. If you consult your program, you will find there the list of senior prizes and awards that we recognized yesterday at the University President Awards ceremony held in the Weiss Center yesterday morning. There were many students recognized, and it was an extraordinary demonstration of achievement, of excelling within a very, very talented class. Those of you who received awards yesterday morning in that ceremony, I will ask you to rise now, please. Look at this distinguished group, many of them multiple award winners. Award winners, I believe that your classmates, your parents, your friends, we, the faculty, the staff, everyone here applauds your accomplishments. I know they were accomplished in the classroom, on the athletic field, in the dance studio, in the laboratory. Thank you for everything you have invested. It has enriched us immeasurably, and I congratulate you all one more time. Thank you. One more form of recognition that I'd like to ask you to join me in. Also in the program are listed those students who have earned their degrees with distinction, as well as those students who earn departmental honors. Also noted in your program are students who have been inducted into various honors societies. That is a long and wonderful list. Let's recognize all of those accomplished graduates with one more round of applause. Well done. I am going to pass the podium to Dr. Steiner.
Candidates for degrees, please rise. President Brovman, I have the honor of certifying to you the candidates who have completed the requirements for the several degrees as prescribed by the faculty to the university. I therefore recommend that the degrees they have earned be now conferred upon them. In addition, certain candidates who expect to complete graduation requirements in the near future are also present for public recognition today.
In accordance with the recommendation of the faculties of the university and by the authority committed to me by the Board of Trustees in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, I hereby confer upon each successful candidate the appropriate degree, admitting you to all the rights, privileges, and responsibilities which throughout the world pertain to that degree, in testimony whereof you will receive the diploma of the university.
Candidates for degrees, please be seated.
Mr. President, I have the pleasure of presenting candidates for bachelor's degrees from the College of Arts and Sciences, 548 in number. For the Bachelor of Arts degree, Ryan Thomas Abel. Gavin Mackenzie Adams. Kyle Joseph Adams. Nicole Lawless Adams. Thomas Carl Adams. Vincent Rosario Agostaro. Stephanie Rose Alpert. Natalie Rose Altman. Azadeh Amir Asani. Abdullah Malik Anderson, Jr. Emily Lathrop Andrews. Austin Julian Andrews. Carly D. Ansel. Selena C. Antonellis. Travis Wayne Armand.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Nicholas Matthew Acero. Theodosius Raymond Athanasiadis. McClellan Robert Atkins. Elizabeth Grayson Aukamp. Emily Hung Jung Bae, in absentia. Danielle Ann Baer. John Robert Bance. Callie Lane Baranowski. Celeste Charisse Barker. Douglas Russell Barnes. Pearl Ina Bass. Amanda Bethany Battle. Stephanie Mae Beck. Allie Taylor Belbruno. Megan Elizabeth Belinsky. Barbara Ann Bell. Michaela Rose Berliner. Kira Bernstein. Caroline Elaine Bixby. Anna W. Black. Curtis Michael Bliamptis. Melissa Susan Blount. Julian Andrew Bolton. Madeline Ann Boone. Benjamin Bourguignon, Jr. Colin William Boyland. Allison Marie Brenman. Nolan Patrick Brennan. Thomas Joseph Browse. Chloe Carson Brown. Emily Elizabeth Brown. Haley Caroline Brown. Stephen Lawrence Brown, Jr. Emma Meekin Broombaugh. Jonathan Scott Budenhagen. John Stephen Burdick. Seneca Don Burgess Norman. Jenna Marie Colandro. Lauren Mary Caldas. Philip Jason Calamanis. Megan Christine Canella. Leah Ariel Cannon. Grace Cronin Carita. Margaret Francis Carlson. James Stryker Carter. Carolyn Marie Casey. Gregory Joseph Casso. Craig Robert Cassidy. Paul Robert Castro. Sarah Grace Catano. Nicole Marie Certo. Nicole Chaiko. Kai Chung Chang. Catherine Moores Chesbro. Catherine Ann Shirazi. Delaney Miller Clark. Benjamin Ellis Claytor. Jillian Alexandra Cohen. Amy Christine Collins. Marta Rose Considine. Carolyn McCleary Corey. Marissa Rana Coslet. Ian Everett Coop. Megan Lee Courtney. Madeline Stewart Crawford. Michael Angelo Crescito, Jr. Thomas G. Cronin, Jr. Claire Kristen Callaton. John Ward Curley. May Emlyn Ying Guao Curry.
Thank you.
Marguerite Auckland Cushing. Zoe Rose Davidson. Joseph DeFloria IV. Charlotte Shea Detweiler. Christopher Stephen Devlin, Jr. Alexa Ann DeGregorio. Adriana Maria Di Silvestro. Cherie H. Doan. Lindsay Taylor Dodovich. Meredith Sarah Donovan. Barbara Dale Donskoy. McLean Duran. Timothy Halsley Dossett. Jack Thomas Doherty. Emma C. Downey. Stephanie Lynn Dressler. Scott Thomas Drummond. Gabrielle Lang Dubose. Stacy Claire Dubois. Travana Danielle Eads. Kathleen Bradford Early. Amarachi Catherine Ekekwe. Charles Ultimus Emmerich. Madeline Elizabeth Endress. Lindsay Baines Erickson. Gelmy Jose Espinal. Maxwell Bush Everett. Christiana Elizabeth Fahey. Wendell I. Fair Jr. Andrew Amon Farley. Molly in absentia. What? Yep. We will do this again correctly. Waiting patiently, and a second time, Andrew Amon Farley. Molly Ann Farrell. Max William Fatauer. John T. Fano. Stephen Gabriel Fainel. Susan Ann Fennell. Lindsay Marie Ferguson. Cynthia Philpo Diaz. Emily Catherine Finn. Lucy Elizabeth Fischel. Mary Grace Ford. Sarah Elizabeth Forer. Dudley Matthews Fernengo. Nana F. Fowland. James Roy Freeland. Dante Anthony Fressy. William Cooper Frost. Kimberly Beth Gazer. Jacqueline Galindo. Monica Daniela Galuccio. Sarah Ann Galarzano. Megan Caitlin Ganning. Stephanie Ann Garboski. Melinda Ann Garcia. Benjamin B. Gerber. Kimberly Leah Garamani. Liam Peter Gilbert. Matthew Peter Gilray. John Michael Gleason. Matthew Barry Glenn. Rosalie Tamar Goldberg. Connor P. Golden. Scott Goldstein. Gabriela Carminda Lucas Gomes. Louis Barton Goodwin. Ryan Thomas Green. John Patrick Greger. Christopher James Gregory. Brielle Joella Grote. Sam Wyatt Hahn.
Thank you.
John McLaughlin Hall-Tipping. Kendall Marie Ham. James Anthony Ham. Elizabeth Louise Hammond. Jacqueline Lee Haranzo. Carrie Nicole Harner. Bailey Lynn Harris. Nicholas Henry Upham Harris. Reed McAdam Harrison. John William Hartigan III. Seth Austin Hartley. Drew Lampus Halan. Charles Edward Hennessy IV. Isabel Robinson Hinckley. Gabriella Sarah Hittel.
Thank you.
Carly Michael Hockman. Olivia Forbes Holzer. Sarah Holland. Stephen Brown Hollinshead. Krista Jeanette Holman. Laura Elizabeth Hudson. Richard Huffman. Nama Amarachi Abazem. Negada Ab Iom Tessima. Bailey Peterson Jarrett. Claire Conroy Jenkins. James Fulton Jenkins. Emily Rose Johnson. Luke David Johnson. Trey Bradley Johnson. Ashley Deshawn Jones Quaidu. Colin Reagan Johnoff. Lisa M. Juraliva. Bailey Christopher Kaiser. Olivia Jane Kolb. In absentia. Maxwell Kane. Joseph Michael Kazar. Bruce John Keenan Jr. Caroline Marie Curley. Christine Elise Curley. John Joseph Kelly IV. Olivia Barton Kelly. Caitlin Nicole Kempf. Jamie Marie Kenny. Mary Margaret Kenny. Callan Jewett Kilroy. Juliette Stanton King. Kyle William Kinner. Ryan Michael Kinsey. Brendan Griffin Kleinberger. Colby Douglas Klingerman. Dipali Koneru in absentia. Christy Kong. Michael Ivanko Korchak. Lynn Elizabeth Catalina Corson. Maha Koretchi. Alexa Kara Krieger. Zachary Carl Krivine. Ansley Helen Crouch. Gabrielle Elise Lagana. John Nichols LaLoja. Elizabeth Webb Lampy. Alexa Jordan Landau. Olivia Campbell Longa. Stephanie Page Larkin. James Kirk Lawton III. Koi An Lei. Erin Marie Lear. Tucker Allen Lighty Phillips. Henry Benjamin Leonardi III. Grace M. Leung. David Vincent Levengood. Anya Ayrton Lalanwala. Josephine Eva Linnell. Nicholas J. Lombardo. It's in here.
It's supposed to be like Jim Kramer not getting his diploma, right?
Yeah. Okay. Nicholas J. Lombardo. Dylan Lopez. Matthew Gregory Lucas. Carly Marie Lukey. Samantha Elizabeth Luzetti. Heather Grimes Maybe. Sage Marie Maggie. Sierra Gina Magnata. Grace Catherine Malloy. Madison Shaner Marcheski. Leslie Markovich. Jennifer Ann Morochak. Thomas Christopher Matera. Melissa Jeanette McCarter. Jake Patrick McGill. Caroline Mary McGlynn. Michael Hudson McHale. Thomas Braxton McKee Jr. Michael Thomas McNally. Madeline Grace Melch. Emily Fulton Mell. Catherine Ann Mesmer. Anna Elizabeth Millar. Gregory Lawrence Raymond Miller. Raina Ford Milling. Lena Ann Miskelin. Yashira E. Moffett-Darko. Brian Joseph Moretti. Savannah Mae Morrison. Jared Richard Morse. Michael Patrick Moser, Jr. Matthew D. Mew. Madeline Carolyn Mulford. Catherine Marie Murphy. John Patrick Murray. Luz Estella Nagel. Sophia Louise Napoli. Elizabeth Gates Nelson. Patrick Joseph Newhart. Grant Harrison Newman. Richard Homer Nicolaides III. Jacqueline Ann Nicoletti. Juan H. Nolasco. Andrew James Nihus. Matthew Kyle Obaid. Catherine Whitfield O'Brien. Sean Kingsley O'Brien. Margaret Connor Odell. Connor Miles O'Hara. Serjan Okhti. Kafilat Olaide Oladrian. George Leonard Orozco. Antonio Nicholas Otero. Julian Grace Pacifico. Jonathan Hagan Palmer. Anthony John Paella. Jake Hamilton Papa. Catherine Elizabeth Lacey Pardo. Gwendolyn Elizabeth Paul. Philippe Andras Pinedo. Ethan J. Pepin. Mukta P. Fatuk. Madeline North Pisha. Jackson Isaiah Pierce Felker. John Salustio Piramateo. Michael Robert Paroli. Skylar Montague Platt. Andrew Brooks Podbilski. Mara Elizabeth Powell. Emily Ann Powers. Kelly Elizabeth Pretz. Nicholas George Preziosi. Trevor Nicholas Price. James Alexander Prisk.
Something in here.
Alexandra Grace Paleo. Mark Joseph Piles. John William Quinn III. Rose Maria Quispe. Alexandra Shea Raitt. John Reed. Van Michael Reedy. Stacy Lynn Reagan. Nathaniel Russell Repko. Dylan Conway Reynolds. Jess W. Rhodes. Benjamin Michael Richard. Margaret Richards Regal. Emma Irene Roberts. Annabelle Rose Robinson. John Sokolowski Rockwell. Lauren Elizabeth Romeo. Madeline Carlisle Rom. Hannah Stahl Rosen. Danielle Marie Rosenblum. Gabrielle Liza Rosenfeld. Danielle Ray Rothenberg. Emily Ione Ryan. Zaki Sabuwala. Jacqueline Taylor St. John. William Noah Sands. Lindsay Shayna Santana. Julia Rose Scalera. Michaela Marie Schaller. Mark Elliott Schneider. Samantha Lee Schrenker. Gabriel Robert Scott. Anthony Dean Screama. Clara Rose Seaborn. Eric William Sr. Nicholas Gaetano Sensenbrenner. Holly Catherine Santowski. Chong Woo Saw. Brennan Patricia Sharkey. Catherine Grace Sidlowski. Ready? Madison Elizabeth Simon. Corley Catherine Simons. Nicholas Richard Simons. William Tally Simonson. Zachary Ryan Sisson. Benjamin Michael Scala. Thomas Gerard Slay. Hadley Zuber Slocum. Cassandra Zoe Smith. Tyler Anthony Smith. Caitlin Noel Soleski. Amanda Marie Solomon. Livia Miriam Samkudi. Melody Rose Sonneman. Natalie Friday Spears. Jonathan Spiegelglass. Samuel Robert Stager. Anne Arlington Stathis. Kyle R. Steinke. In absentia, Jotham Stephenson. Erica Marie Stubbe. Thomas James Stupp. Christian Stevens Schwartzbaugh. Unique Darnella Sykes. William Joseph Samasegi. Rebecca Becky Tanner. Kimberly Morgan Taylor. Kiefer Scott Tian. Katarina Ann Thalner. John Bellinger Thompson III. Jack Joseph Tierney. Narayan Timsina. Daniel Richard Toback. Catherine Rose Trainer. Brendan Evan Tribus. Dina Sagai. Catherine Ann McFate Tucker. Taryn Helene Urban. Douglas Hudson Vowler. Zachary S. Valley. Samuel Connor Van Hoos. Emma Catherine Van Lent. Alejandro Martin Vasquez. Casey Ann Venema. Francesca Rose Vila. Emily Barbara Volosky. Catherine Ann Wagner. Taylor Elizabeth Wald. Victoria Grace Walker. Aidan Thomas Walsh. Ziyang Wang. William Gray Warden V. Elizabeth L. Warner. Chase Emmanuel Watkins. Parker R. Watson. Robert Langan Waters. Jordan Matthew White. Caroline Eileen Whitman. Grace Lucas Whitman. Cameron James Williams. Claire Johanna Willig. Emily Margaret Willis. Adam Patrick Wyndham. Kimberly Ann Winter. Megan Ricka Wolf. Samantha Marie Wolford. Delaney Ann Worth. Elizabeth Kathleen Worthington. Daniel Matthew Wright. Ja-E Zhu. John Hilliard Zollicoffer IV. Suzanne Elizabeth Zubkov. For the Bachelor of Science degree, Alexander Lubinov Antonov. Jack Timothy Baines. Scott Michael Balta. Christine Margaret Budzinski. Christopher Edward Bidlack. Bethany Marie Bloss. William Connor Bordash. Kelly Ann Bowman. Madeline Marie Brown. Caitlin Marie Carduner. Alexander Kenyon Christensen. Sarah Marie Christian. Paige Elaine Collins. Bestine Summer Kong. Kristen Elizabeth Davis. John Vincent DeLisa. Margaret Jacqueline Dangle. Jake Thomas Dixon. Cassidy Rose Dodson. Adriana Doliba. Michael Alexander Driesen. Lauren Virginia Eckerman. Caroline Ann Edelman. Ryan E. Eng. Kara Ann English. Madison Shamari Fink. Juliana Foss. Lisa Marie Franca Macaro. Nicole L. Fry. Margaret Barron Geisler. Sean Cohey Gilhooly. Anna Nash Gorman. Erin Elizabeth Grundy. Paulina M. Gutkin. Megan Elizabeth Hand. Dale Anthony Hartman. Susan Emily Hartzell. Daniel Stephen Hayes. Joshua David Hellerick. Rennie Hiza. Kayla Rose Holman. Ryan Patrick Kirby. I'm good. We ready? Gavin James Klump. Donald Quayle Kepp. Zachary James Kozik. Madison Margaret Kremp. Abigail Faye Kresnor. Lindsay May Lacey. Alexandra Catherine Leonard. Catherine Aaron Lilienthal. Joel Han Lin. Hannah Page Litwa. Sandra Marie Logan. Victor Joseph Lopiccolo. Tarek Omar Lott. Erica D. Mant. Justin Tyler Manhoff. Sarah Jane Marchigiani. Eleni Alexandra Marcotte. Isabella McCary. Sean Vincent McDonough. In absentia. Tyler Patrick McMillan. Madeline Olivia Minessi. Naba Hamid Mukhtar. Alexander Craig Murph. John Ryan Naper. John Lewis Natalie. Kai Kwang Nguyen. Emma Heel Nicholson. Emily Lydia O'Brien. Melville Clay O'Brien. Daniel O. Peter James Anaskonich. Lauren Deanna Otto. Laura Jane Owens. William Alfred Peterson. Nigel Antonio Revita. Chad Ryan Reese. Charles Grant Regner. Aaron Annette Reff. Catherine Carmina Romaine. Jacob M. Rusnock. Charles Anderson Scales III. Lindsay Jean Schaefer. Allie Elizabeth Schrock. Celia Catherine Severini. Ewell Kaibu Siam. Samuel Cole Sheridan. Jacob Beresford Simon. Jenna Marie Slusar. Nicholas John Stamatos. Wei Lun Tan. Alexa Natalie Thomas. Gianna Marie Tricola. George Edward Van Dyke. Allison Taylor Varano. Connor Arnett Wog. Zoyen Wong. Ryan Miller Wendell. Ryan Allen Wild. Zachary Dallas Williams. Callie Ann Wilson. Shujung Yoon. Christopher John Zachary. Ufei Jia. For the Bachelor of Science in Education degree, Bethany Marie Bechtel. Leah D. Bloodgood. Emma Elise Cousins. Madeline Clark Davidian. Catherine E. Higgins. Dawn Elise Hoth. Alexandra Rose Levy. Nora Christine Murphy. Rebecca Page Ogle. Kathleen Lee Sabatino. For the Bachelor of Music degree, Kara Nicole Barrist. Brittany Elizabeth Garcia. Catherine Ann Manuel. Amanda Lauren Miller. Isabel Sandra Tagg. The following candidates who completed graduation requirements and who were awarded degrees in July or January were invited to be present for recognition today. We are pleased that those whose names are read accepted this invitation. For the Bachelor of Arts degree, Daniel Maruccio Narvaez. John Joseph Berkeley II. Rebecca Emily DeHaven. Trevor Taylor Fenimore. Madeline Marie Liotta. Okay. Matthew R. Meganzoni. Taylor Michelle Myers. Greer Poole. Sarah Reed Rosecki. Caroline Rose Wenzel. Chi Ching Chun.
Carolyn Vassar.
Okay.
Yes.
Caroline L. Fassett. For the Bachelor of Science degree, Corinne Nicole Laird. Eileen Veronica McCauley. Jin Wen Song. Raquel Voyolainen.
Mr. President, I'm proud to present the 2018 graduates from the College of Engineering for Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering, Philip Alexander Amarante. Kyle Breckenridge Bloom. Danielle Rose DeColey. Benjamin David Derleth. Larissa Lee Gavala. Elizabeth Marie Geyer Roberts. Allison Nicole Horn. Can't see. Stephen Thaddeus Leslie Jr. Robert Bruce Marchese.
I know, it's okay.
Carly Lynn Richardson. Riddhi Sahani. Avery Marguerite Snyder. Christopher Joseph Taka. Zachary Ryan Thomas. Hannah Lynn Toledo. For Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering and Bachelor of Arts, Abdullah Balatresh. I'm good. Back a little. Yeah, that's good. Emma Caroline Bertram. For Bachelor of Science in Biomedical Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Nicholas Albert Earl Abbott. For Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering, Curry Ann Baker. Phoebe Catherine Belser. Riley M. Casebolt. Jamie Lynn Kavrick. Caleb Michael Darkus Berkey. Erin Rosaria Dittmar. Austin David Getchen Stroop. Anna Elizabeth Gould. Emma Catherine Greaser. Emma Ann Harris. Shiki Jiang. Brian Patrick Curlin. Mara Catherine Kunin. Lyra Lynn Marie McEachern. Taylor W. Milliman. Evelyn Moy Linehan. Michael Andrew Pallotta. Samuel Jordan Rutan. Cheyenne Grace Salin.
Thanks so much.
David Allen Schumer. Kyle Lewis Sieverts. Himanta Raj Timsina. For Bachelor of Science in Chemical Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Cole Anders Davis. James Michael Soderlund. For Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering, Emily Marie Barnes. Zachary Clinton Carley. Minwo Cho. Louis Paul DeLuca. Jack Ryan Foley. Carl Liam Fontas. Shai Joslo Gerstel. Alan Robert Goki. Elizabeth Ann Gordon. Roger C. Niddle, Jr. Dylan Thomas Lafata. Shyla Marie Kai Lintz. Jack Lawrence Mappa. Italo Giuseppe Maranti. Elizabeth McGraw-Moeller. Nathan Harry Ong. Lindsay Ann Reist. Richard Joseph Schlichting. Erin Maureen Schwab. Benjamin David Summers. Yunfei Wong. Julia Barron Weiss. Yuran Wu. For Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and Bachelor of Arts, Shanda Singoyi. For Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Adam Yilderer. For Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering, Keller Hyder Chambers. Michael D. Domenico III. Jacob Harrison Glickman. Sam Parker Greenberg. Stephen Thomas Haberly, Jr. Evan Willis Harrington. Uttam Kumaran. Matthew Robert Lenk. Jacob Paul Mendelowitz. Wesley John Morlock. Morgan Rose Muller. Christian Lockhart Olet. Ryan Vincent Pensack. Laura Jane Polton. Peyton C. Rumachek. Yunyanyan Sho. For the Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering and Bachelor of Arts, Dan B. Kim. For Bachelor of Science in Computer Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Mitchell Voss Pietramo. For Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Engineering, Levi Austin Adair. Iaduni Joan Adinagu. Brooke T. Bullock. Bobby C. Cow. Andrew Capuano. Stefano Cobelli. Jason Peter Corriveau. Jordan Ray Faith. Thomas Joel Ficadenti. Lucas Ray Gregory. Alan Law. Shijo Lee. Eric McCartney Marshall. Benjamin David Mattis. Sienna L. Mosier. Peter Lucas Nicolaus. Daniel Tommy Vasquez. Jordan Anthony Voves. Cole Naden Whitley. For Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Engineering and Bachelor of Arts, Lucas Arthur Munoz. Son Fa. For Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Engineering and Bachelor of Management, Christopher Ford Shattuck. Anmol Singh. For Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering, Nicholas John Bilchek. Ongwan Chun. Haven Clark. Molly Elizabeth Farrell. Hong Tang Ha. Duo Yang Wong. Ong Hae Jia. Chen Liu. Emily Malmquist. Tuelder Bahan Arya Miskuna. Jacob Thomas Natalie. Matthew Anthony Pazzarino. Erkin Sabah. Jacqueline Scott. Jane Olivia Shebist. Timothy W. Woodford. Hao-Yon Ye. For Bachelor of Science in Environmental Engineering, Michael Campbell Bain. Amanda Renee Craver. Kimberly Nicole Shust. Brittany Searing Swanson. Joshua Vaughn Williard. For Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Eli Gabriel Lauterbach Abrams. Diego Alejandro Aldana. Michael Atlee Brozak. Monica Ann Brzezowski. Amanda Nicole Casso. Pauline Elizabeth Collimore. Benjamin Scott Conser. Timothy Kirk Eason. Paul Wilson Freeman. Emily Claire Fricky. Amber Rose Habib. Nathaniel Thomas Haggerty. Kellen Vincent Hale. Charles William Hanna. Austin Pullman Honeyford. Chandler Eleanor Hester Huggins. Shartine Umuhira Iraguha. Judith Elizabeth Klinga. Mark Richard Moyer. William Duncan Monroe. Matthew Lawrence Nessio. Robert Wayne Newton. John Elliott O'Brien. Daniel James Peppert. Brian James Picarillo. Nathan Alexander Raker Jordan. Anina Josefina Ruggiero. Reed Sanchez. Bradley David Cedar. Kaije Ji. Lauren Elizabeth Singer. Chad Michael Steinmiller. Kanishka Suwal. Kyle Raymond Vanderhoof. Hongwei Zhou. For Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and Bachelor of Management, William Hazard Harpin. The following candidates who completed graduation requirements and who were awarded degrees in January were invited to be present for recognition today. We are pleased that those whose names are read accepted this invitation. Bachelor of Science in Computer Science and Engineering, Tong Yu Yang.
Mr. President, I have the great honor of presenting candidates for degrees from the very first graduating class of the Kenneth W. Freeman College of Management. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Mary Lee Agrusti. Nir Aish. Mata Badlani. Daniel Harris Bank. Caroline McChrystal Barker. Emily Christian Barrett. Colleen Kennedy Barron. Amanda Marie Besselman. Kevin James Booth. Sonia Jane Boyer. Emily Elizabeth Bush. Justin Maxwell Carr. Scott McAllister Chambers. Yen Chan. Michelle Cho. Chang Chung. Carly Siborowski. Caroline Page Clancy. Erin Kathleen Clark. Michael Robert Cook. Mary Bridget Coughlin. Samuel Winston Cox. Allison Carly Crosdale. Devin Rianne Danusius. Christian Lewis Doherty. Bien Fawn. Yeah. Trung Yi Don. Catherine Ann Doyle. Monica Ilana Driscoll. Jacob Andrew Dunlap. Charles Lewis Dury. Timothy Banks Erskine. Emma Elizabeth Fisher. Mary Catherine Fleming. Tala Brooke Ford. Jake Matthew Frankel. David Michael Freering. Emily Lynn Gagas. Max I. Geistfeld. Jordan Aaron Gelman. Jessica Jonna Gibson. Reese Atkinson Gibson. Leah Jordan Gilbert. Samantha Cameron Galaski. Claire Ellen Greenalsh. Emily Myunghi Gross. Regina Guzman. Caroline Ferrance Harbor. Jeff Benjamin Hagan. Perry Campbell Hamilton. Jay Bigler Harrison. Manuela Herrera. Shannon Claire Hickey. Megan Collins Holtz. Jack Bladen Horan. Shelby Allison Howell. Quentin Dion Hugie. Kayla Javahari. Andrew Frederick Joblin. Kimberly Baker Johnston. Samuel Richard Klaber. Courtney Carolyn Klingert. James Tyler Konigsberg. Daniela Barry Kotowitz. Megan Elizabeth Kovac. Allison Hope Lane. Taylor Page Langtree. Brian Joseph LeBlanc. Philip Medin Lebleblechiolu. Douglas Scott Lee. Corey Barton Leidheiser. Natalie Ann Leiser. Matthew Anthony Linden. Luke Carl Leprondo. Patrick James Long. Samuel Thompson Loomis. Alexander Simon Lord. Eve Marie Lukowski. Job, Alex. Calum Drew McGee. Thank you. Marissa Ann Mancuso. Kelly Ann Manning. Elizabeth Marie Morano. Nathan Gregory Marcotte. Allison Christian Mascioli. Timothy Sullivan Mayers. Morgan Elizabeth McAllister. Jane Abigail McCurdy. Aaron Bennett McIntyre. Alec Reed Melamut. Austin A. Mendez. Nicholas Ray Miller. Amber Jean Nicole Mironov. Hannah Ruth Murray. Reginald Brian Nelson. Jacob Charles Newman. Charles Thomas Niehaus. Emily G. Nocera. Connor McGady O'Brien. Dylan James O'Connor. Shannon Randolph O'Connor. Ellen Patricia O'Donnell. Sharon Vin On. Edmund Anthony Piotrowski. Joshua Paul Popkin. Maxwell Lee Prezant. Maria Christina Prothero. Ayla Christine Rahala. Keith Allen Rawlings Jr. Gretchen Catherine Richter. Shauna Lynn Rocket. Thomas Emilio Salaveria. Hannah Grace Sawani Bori. Carrie Ann Scallon. Chloe Renee Shapiro. Delaney Nicole Sheets. Matthew Joseph Sika. Christopher Perry Simone. Christopher John Sisto. Emily Anderson Smith. Peter Hammond Snow. Catherine Laura Sikerka. Karen Olivia Somosundaram. Michael Joseph Stevens. Peter J. Stoddard. Alden Charles Stone. Haley Marie Stout. Quentin Benjamin Street. Jada Timone Tinnen. John William Waltzinger. Joyan Wong. Oh, in absentia.
Thank you.
John William Waltzinger. Joanne Wong. Lauren Marie Whalen. Julia Ann Wigginton. Alexander Barlow Reedy. Aaron Kyle Zaimi. The following candidates who completed graduation requirements and who were awarded degrees in January were invited to be present for recognition today. We are pleased that those whose names are read accepted this invitation. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, Allison Joy Fortino. Maeve Elizabeth Greeley. Jacqueline Samantha Ham. Emily Rose Turchin. Congratulations.
Mr. President, I have the pleasure of presenting candidates for the master's degrees from the Graduate Studies program. In the interest of time, I would ask the audience to please hold your applause until all graduates have been recognized. The following candidates who completed master's degree requirements in the past year are present for recognition today. For the degree Master of Arts, Megan Elizabeth Hicks. Huntley Wayne Hughes. Alana Jane Jaco. Adam Gage Walker. For the degree Master of Science, Jackie R. Ndem. For the degree Master of Science in Education, Amy McGill Davis. Summer Dice. Ivan Majolo Flores Sandoval. Jessica Aint Piepie Kin. For the degree Master of Science in Chemical Engineering, Kurt Robert Vostel. And for the degree Master of Science in Mechanical Engineering, Odinma Janpo Ofili. Please join me in applauding these excellent degree recipients from the Graduate Studies program.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's the class of 2018. Now I'd like to welcome one of Bucknell's newest graduates, our student speaker, Mr. Jackson Felker-Pierce. Jackson made the most of his Bucknell experience during his 4 years on campus and exemplifies the benefits of our broad residential education. He's a Posse Scholar who majored in psychology and creative writing. Jackson's passion for embracing new experiences is evident from his many activities at Bucknell, from serving as a resident assistant and studying abroad to writing award-winning poetry and co-founding a boy band. Let me share something Jackson said recently in reflecting upon his Bucknell experience. He said, "I had people looking out for me and seeing things in me that I didn't see in myself. That was enough to give me the courage to pursue the university's multitude of resources and opportunities. It's our privilege to help each student become the best they can be, and it's my great pleasure to welcome to the lectern Jackson Felker-Pierce."
What a joyous morning it is, class of 2018. That's got a nice ring to it. Do you want to say it with me? Class of 2018. Yeah, all right. I'd like to extend a heartfelt and grateful greeting to the families, friends, and university faculty here with us today. Your mentorship over the past 4 years has been truly invaluable, and we would not be here without your help. Thank you for believing in us. Yeah. Today, I'd like to encourage you to embrace your own natural geometry, your authentic values and principles as you embark on the unstructured journey ahead. I implore you to be true to what calls you and to trust in the lessons you've learned in these classrooms, to look and to leap. And while my intentions and my heart lie with today's graduates, yeah, I think this courage is something everyone should carry. Parents, if my voice sounds familiar, it's because I've spent the last year working as a caller for the student calling program. Yeah, try and hang up on me now, yeah. The tables have turned. But really, it's been a great opportunity to connect with Bucknell families and gather their insight. You've taught me how to maintain relationships from miles away, the wisdom of an 8 p.m. bedtime, and the secret relief of an empty nest. But there's one thing I hear on the phones again and again that strikes me, and maybe you've heard it yourselves. College is the best 4 years of your life, right? Has anyone else heard that? Yeah, that makes me sick. Really, the best 4 years, it just rolls off the tongue like a universal truth with no wiggle room for the breadth of human experience, no variation for major or career path. And the first time I heard that, I felt this big black void open up in my stomach. Not because I haven't enjoyed my time at Bucknell, but because I've spent a good chunk of that time bent over books in the library wishing I was asleep, right? And I've spent too much of the rest agonizing over the future. So hearing alumni say that phrase again and again made me anxious. Had I wasted the best 4 years of my life worrying what was next? Would it all be downhill from here? To borrow from Mr. Kramer, is life after college a bull or a bear? Yeah, we like that. It'll be bullish. And to the idea that the last 4 years will be the pinnacle of our lives, I also call bull. I reject the notion that it's all downhill and instead propose that we can only go up. Yeah. To claim that college was the best 4 years of your lives is to speak as someone who's already given up, already surrendered. We wouldn't take one bite out of an apple, then throw the rest away because the first crunch was so satisfying. We wouldn't skim the first few words of the Constitution and burn the remainder because the preamble seemed comprehensive enough. We'd be missing out on a lot. And if we live like our best years are behind us, we're missing out on a lot of life. I think that the evil seed here is what I like to call the beeline complex, the belief that we have to take the most direct route to our goals, that we can't stop and smell the roses until we get there. That linearity is the only way, and that straying from the beaten path is as good as failure. As a high school senior in the DC metro area, I was prepared to live a very straightforward life. Enroll in a Maryland state school, get a business degree, take any job that would pay enough for me to support my family. I was afraid of anything beyond that. Afraid of taking a risk and humiliating myself, just like now. But all that changed when someone took the time to tell me that I could find success beyond those parameters. The Posse Foundation gave me the opportunity to leave the only home I'd ever known, to transplant my life somewhere I had never even considered, rural Pennsylvania. What? A place where, yeah, we can clap for that. All right. A place where growth would be as difficult as it was rewarding. Posse gave me the chance to break from safety and take a risk. And had I followed the path of least resistance, I never would have left Maryland. I never would have had the chance to present my own artwork at a diversity summit, or to build communities as an RA, or research the effects of exogenous oxytocin on voles. Yeah. If you had told me at 17 that I would spend a summer in Lewisburg writing poetry with other undergraduates from around the country, or that I would team up with one of my best friends to start Bucknell's best boy band, KP140, yeah, I would have laughed at you. Choosing the comfort of home would have cost me so much. The very vascularity of our bodies urges us to curve, to bend, and deny normalcy, so I'm going to keep listening. This summer, I'll be moving to Maine to restore a flower nursery and work on my music while I study for the GRE. After that, maybe I'll get a PhD and save the bees, or join the Peace Corps, or open a wellness center, but I'm not going to attach to any outcomes because I know how things can change. The Calling program has introduced me to alumni who started out as biochemists but discovered a passion for making soap. I've spoken with former English majors who now develop the polymers in our chewing gum. Psych majors turned account executives, turned nonprofit giants, and the one thing they all have in common is that they weren't afraid to step away from what was familiar to them. Stories like these have taught me that we need not fear the unknown. Oh no, the unknown needs to fear us. We went to Bucknell. Yeah. Am I right, 2018? Life won't get any easier or slower, but we've got to build the sorts of lives that allow every year to be our best. We can only do that by A, being authentic about our values, and B, rejecting the prepackaged futures thrust upon us by society. If we can just embody those two principles, our success will nourish the generations that follow to do the same. In turn, they'll learn to ignore our footsteps entirely and pave their own roads to a better society. And that's a true legacy. Behind me lies a piece of the Susquehanna Valley, mountains, forests, and wildlife that have withstood the test of time by being adaptive, resilient, and diverse. Before me lies a community of scholars capable of that same resiliency and versatility. Now, more than ever, we're going to need leaders who aren't afraid to bend, to pioneer, to be vulnerable in the face of the unknown. We have a responsibility to disrupt, to agitate, and crash through the structures we know, to push life in new directions, to follow our own natural geometry and let it lead us to truth, love, and growth. Don't let graduation make you complacent. The real work has only just begun, but we needn't be afraid. We went to Bucknell. Thank you.
Well, with all due respect to our guest speaker today, the best line I've heard all day is, "The unknown needs to fear us. We went to Bucknell." Graduates, faculty.
Graduates, faculty, family, guests. There was inadvertently one student missed this morning in terms of names announced, and I would like to take this opportunity to correct that. So let's congratulate Stephen Arthur Walsh on receipt of his degree.
When you make a mistake, admit it and move on. Graduates, as you continue on your path, stay curious. Stay committed to a lifetime of learning. Stay healthy both in body and in mind. Take good care of yourselves, your families, your friends, your neighbors, and your school. And to echo Jackson, have the confidence to take chances and to build the kind of life that allows each year to be your best. The best is always in front of you. In your earliest days on campus, the class of 2018 chose this motto: following different paths, we lead together. Well, in today's world, this is more important than ever. Let your motto continue to guide you as you welcome and seek to understand those with a range of life's perspectives and experiences. Let our differences become our strengths. We are tremendously proud of you, and we wish you the best as you venture beyond these hallowed grounds. Congratulations again, and would everyone please stand for the singing of the alma mater.
Dear Bucknell, oft of we were thinking, and memories fond come trooping by. The tireless stars may cease their blinking, but thoughts of thee shall never die. And though the years still swiftly o'er us, and winter comes with biting sting, our hearts with youth's undaunted chorus shall e'er with praise of Bucknell ring.
go. We'll take our risk with the wind.